Hi, I'm Henrik, the creator of FIGMENT Curtains. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can import and set up the Alembic files using Max 2026, regardless of what render engine you're using. So I'm just going to go to File, Import, navigate to your curtain folder, and select one of the Alembic files. Just hit Import. And right now, I should be able to hit Play, and everything should be working nicely. So all of the curtain simulations have 360 frames and they're all looping. So if I just select the geometry here and zoom in a bit, let's find another frame. As you can see, these are very optimized and they look a bit jaggy because they're designed to have subdivisions applied. So we're just gonna add a Turbosmooth, and this way everything should look nice and smooth. Now, obviously, this is going to impact your performance in the viewport. So what I suggest is you go up here on the modifier and simply set this to be off in viewport. That way you will have the detail at render time, but not bogging down your performance when you're working. And let's go back to the Alembic object and set our timeline to 200 frames, about 8 seconds. So let's say that this was an actual shot. And I want the wind to already be moving on the first frame. So what I can do is go into the playback type here and then set this to custom start. And if I go in here and then set this to a negative value, then the curtain animation is going to start before frame 0 here. So if I hit play now, I should have a more interesting starting point, and the entire timeline should be filled out with moving wind quite nicely. So let's say that we want another curtain in here. First off, you actually have two objects in here. You have the actual geometry, and then you have this. This is basically an Alembic root node. And if I move this around, then everything attached to it is going to move with it. But if I move the curtain by itself, I can place that however I wish as well. So let's say that I want two curtains in here. I can just copy this. And as you can see, I can move these around freely in here, and I can also select the root node and then move everything all at once. But I don't really need it, so I'm just gonna hide it and then focus on the curtains. Okay, so now I have two curtains in here, but they're totally in sync. That's not what I want. So I'm just gonna select the second one and go back to the Alembic object settings, and then alter the custom start so it's not the same as the other one. Let's maybe put it somewhere up here. Check this out. That could work. Definitely doesn't look like the same curtain anymore, I think. But let's say that we don't want these curtains anymore. There's a bit too much wind going on here. So what we can do is go into the Alembic settings here and click this button right below the file name, and then simply select another one. Let's go for the medium one instead of strong wind, just to see how that looks. And let's take the other one and let's go for the light version. So as you can see, it's kind of easy to just switch these out. And let's say we go back to the strong version, isolate this. And we kind of like this motion here, but maybe it's going a bit too fast. So what we can do is, instead of setting this to custom start, we can change this to playback graph under the playback type. So right now, when I scrub the timeline, nothing is happening. And that's because we need to animate or map the frames that we want to see in here. So let's say for the first frame, we want it to be frame 50 from the curtain animation. And now I'll just enable animation or auto key, go to the last frame of my timeline, and let's set this to, let's say 150. So that gives us 100 frames of animation mapped out to 200 frames. So it should be kind of slow, kind of dreamy. But by default, when you animate and set keyframes in max, you're gonna have an ease in and ease out curve. So I'm just gonna select both of the keys, go in here to the mini track view. Both of the keys are selected, and I'm just going to change the tangent type to linear. This way we're not going to have the ease in and ease out. So there we go, pretty smooth. And if we want to, we can change this to be even slower. Let's set the last frame to be 100. See how that looks. So now it's super slow. Let's set it back to 150. Disable auto key. And let's say that we like the speed of this animation, but maybe we want to offset it a bit. So with auto key disabled, we can simply go in here on the first frame, or any frame actually, and simply change this slider to another frame. And this way, when we scrub through it, then the last frame has also been changed. Everything has simply been offset by the amount that I changed in here. So anyway, that's the basics of importing and setting up the curtains inside of 3ds Max. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.